Settings. Are we not attached? Ah, we're not attached. Now we're attached.
Aha,
Yay!
there we are.
Don't know why it changed that for me, but hey, it's functional, so we're all good now.
Great.
Now you can put me wherever you want.
Mm-hmm. And I think you are in a pretty solid spot already. There we go.
Excellent.
Okay. That's all set. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Guess I
Heading to streaming.
I still need to work on an intro, but welcome to Sketch-a-log. I am your host and catalogist, Soul King Xander, and I am joined with me by my first guest of this rebranded series. Would you like to introduce yourself? Tell us your name, what kind of content you make, and how, when, and why did you start streaming?
Absolutely. I am Andromeda Astrea. I make a variety of different content. One of the things I like to focus on is like the classical aspects of things, which classics, for those who don't know, is the study of the ancient Mediterranean. So like the ancient Greeks and the ancient Romans mostly, a little bit of Babylon, a little bit of Egypt, generally that area. So I like to play games that have those kind of focuses, or not focuses necessarily, but like references, which is where I've taken to playing a whole ton of Hoyo games because they have so much amazing references in them. Like I'm so stuck in Amphorius in HSR right now because like every NPC has a proper ancient Greek name that is related to what they're doing. It's insane. It is absolutely amazing. So yeah, I like to focus on that stuff, but also, just mess around and have fun.
Yeah.
We like to do a little bit of both, but definitely with a little bit of a focus on that.
And then, how long you've been streaming for?
How long have I been streaming for? I've been streaming since not like this year's July, but July 2024.
Okay.
So, it's September now?
Yeah.
So like 14 months?
Yeah, wow. That is
Ish.
a decent amount of time there. So how familiar would you say you are with like VTubing and the wider community? Is this more of just an anonymity thing, or are you a big hardcore fan of VTubing in general?
Kind of both, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So, I didn't find out about VTubing until probably somewhere, I don't know. I vaguely remember seeing Zen with the gecko in her chest driving her, that model, whenever that happened to be. It was a long time ago. I'd have to look it up to see when that model was a thing. But I thought that was really cool. And I just absolutely loved that when I saw it. But I didn't really start, like, getting into VTubers probably until I looked more at Hollow, I think. Bit of Hololive stuff. And then, so that's the liking VTubers piece.
Right.
The anonymity piece, I was an actor for a really long time, and I didn't like the lack of privacy.
Sure.
It was not good. Lack of privacy is not good at all. So there was a lot of stuff I wanted to do. But like I quit my agency in 2022, but I hadn't really been taking work for a little while before that anyway.
Right.
I started acting, I guess, I went to school for it in 2013, and I did some like paid things at the time. I'd also done some paid work before then. And so I did acting for a really long time, almost 10 years of it.
Oof.
And there was so much stuff that was just like, I don't know. If you haven't been an actor, it's hard to fully understand the level of like, people don't see you as a people, they see you as an object. which ironically, I find people have less of a problem with VTubing. I don't feel as seen as an object here as a VTuber.
Right.
Which is a little weird because I think I'm technically more of an object now. But somehow it's better. I don't know. Somehow it feels less objecty.
Right. Yeah. I can kind of see that.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. You said you're pretty familiar with things.
Yeah. Familiar as well as anonymity.
Yeah.
Both are good. But yeah, so there was a lot of content I wanted to make after or while acting, but also after I decided I didn't really want to do acting anymore. Because, I don't know, it was weird having fans of me, like the me, because I would get roles just based off of how I looked and I hated it.
Right.
There's a really horrible feeling. I'd be like, hey, do you want to see if I can act? They're like, no, it doesn't matter. We like how you look. And there's something really awful about that.
Yeah, I mean, I felt bad just you, like, saying it now.
Yep, it's pretty terrible. So with VTubing, I get to have people watch me because they like my content or my model, which is fine, but it's not because they like how I look. So I know that they're actually liking the stuff instead of just like, hey, we think you're pretty, so we're gonna watch you.
Right.
And I do kind of feel like there's a solid number of VTubers who are like that. I've heard a few people talk about that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's just me. I think there's a subset of us that do it because we don't want people here just for our face.
Yeah, it's totally fair.
I've forgotten if there's any other parts to your question.
No.
Also,
You nailed it. So how did you come up with your design? This is a new model for you.
This is my new model, yeah. So I had my old model, which I don't have the software to show right now. But I had a VRoid. I started with a VRoid just because I wasn't sure if this was something I wanted to do full time. I didn't know if I'd be able to do well enough or whatever, and so I didn't want to spend money.
You wouldn't be the kind of person to just like spend $800 on a model.
Never.
Knowing that you'd want to, only an idiot would do that.
I think there's plenty of people who do it, and now that I've switched models, I'm not sure they're idiots. I'm happy to chat about that one, actually. I do think model makes a massive difference. Having had these two different models, I can say that I feel like this one has helped a lot in a couple of different ways.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can get into that later. So I had my original model that I made myself because it was cheap VRoid. Just, trying it out, seeing if I liked it.
Right.
And I didn't really intend to change because I did actually like it. But at one point in time, I think I was just like on Twitter and I saw someone's model. I was like, wow, that is an amazing model. I love it so much. I wonder who made it. And I went and I looked and it was just a pre-made model. And I was like, wait a second. There's some amazing pre-mades, aren't there? So I just kind of went and browsed pre-mades. And I found this one and I was like, I love it so much. It feels like it's me. And I haven't seen a lot of people using it, so it's not like it's an overused model. And I don't think I'd care, even if it were, because it definitely feels more like me than my old one did.
Sure.
And I've found that it lets me be more free to be myself with this model than with the old model.
Right.
And also, it's awesome looking.
Yeah. Definitely.
But yeah, I was looking for a couple of different things. I do like the animal thing. I do a few too many things that are like cat or fox-like, just constantly. And it felt like it was something that I should be maybe looking into a little bit more. Going more into that.
Right.
Than just my standard like human-y model that I had before.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's most of the things, right?
Yeah. We can get into more like the lore side of things a bit later. But
Oh, yeah.
yeah, the design very nice, very good. I was very excited when you said you were getting a new model. And yeah. Speaking of that, what's something that you love seeing in VTuber design? Something that makes you like the kind of thing that, for instance, that pre-made model that you saw. What's the kind of thing that makes you sort of stop and take a look at something?
I think it's like a solid vision specific, which I'm gonna explain a little bit better. I think sometimes models don't have a theme or like one specific thing. People try to fit too many aspects of their lore or their personality into a model.
Mm-hmm.
So the ones where you pick one thing and then go really hard in that direction, I think are more interesting to see.
Mm-hmm.
Which is different from what I probably used to think. But yeah, I think there's a level of detail you can get when you're not, like, look at mine. Mine has 3 colors. It's not super colorful. There's not a lot to it, but it really tells a story in the simplicity yet complexity.
Yeah.
So like a balance of the two, I think, is the most important for me to really like something.
Mm-hmm.
Not too many colors, unless like you're a rainbow VTuber. That could absolutely be a theme.
Yeah.
Where that's like your thing. But I think it is definitely a balance of simplicity and complexity for me.
My last guest, the wonderful Joe Cat, also espoused the virtues of being simple with a model design.
Yeah.
Keeping something
Makes
very
sense.
basic, but very absolutely.
You can't do everything.
No. So say you just woke up, back to the day you decided to become a VTuber, and everything after that had all just been one big dream. Would you want to do anything differently?
I would love to say like I would start with this model sooner, but I do feel like I kind of grew out of my original model.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I would have had the confidence to be able to fully embody this one early on. I think it was kind of nice to have the more subtle, less showy model originally because it gave me the time to like figure out what I liked doing, what I liked being, all of that. I might have switched sooner. I would have switched models sooner probably.
Right.
Maybe like a month sooner or so. But I do feel like the first one taught me a lot of stuff. Trying to think what else. Because like there's all sorts of content stuff. I was pretty good about posting short form stuff really early on. In fact, I've gotten really bad at it. I need to get back into it. I was so good at short form for a really long time, and I've gotten really bad at it lately. I just don't have time anymore.
Right.
It's really sad. But yeah, like shorts and stuff. Probably maybe going harder into that. Maybe. I think I would have spread out what games I played earlier on, because I did start out just playing one game.
Right.
And when that game stopped functioning on my platform, it was a massive problem for me. Because I didn't switch by choice. I switched because it stopped working as a game to stream for the way that I was streaming it.
Right.
So I was forced out of it, and I didn't really have a backup plan for it. So I definitely, like, warn everyone, if you're a one-game streamer, make sure you have a backup plan just in case something happens with that game.
Right.
But yeah, I think I probably would have switched games faster and just, like, made sure I didn't start on one. Because as hard as it is to grow as a, like, proper variety streamer, I think it's a lot healthier. Especially so that you don't run into the problem that I ran into with the, oh no, my game won't work anymore. What games do I have that I might be able to play? How do I pivot when my entire community is based off of this one game?
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I think that's what I would have done earlier. Just like had a good variety of games.
Okay. What is it that you like most about streaming?
I like chatting with people. Also, I've discovered that in games, I'm not gonna grind on my own. I think it's really boring. There's so much stuff in games I won't do by myself. Or games like I wouldn't play by myself. But if I have my chat with me and everyone chatting about stuff and we can like get distracted and have fun conversations instead of me just being all by myself playing a game, I enjoy the games a lot more. And like everything I do is a lot more fun just with my community instead of by myself.
Right.
It used to be that I would just chat to my husband and annoy the crap out of him. But now I have a whole group of people I can chat to and annoy the crap out of. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's my favorite part.
This is off topic, but I don't know what it is about you and not being able to get your face right. But this is the second time this has happened, and I don't understand what it is. Because you remember our first interview where I
Oh yeah, it took a bit, didn't it?
Yeah, it was giving me some no shortage of trouble. But I think I've got it this time.
You can do it.
And then what's something that you wish you could do more of in streaming?
That is a great question. I want to do an even greater variety of games. These days I'm mostly doing gacha games, but like I have plans to play through Fallout New Vegas soon. And I want to play Cyberpunk. Originally I started out as like somewhat of a cozy VTuber, and I do feel that I have moved beyond that.
Right.
Cozy doesn't quite work for me anymore. I really like more of the like little chaotic side of things. So I think that kind of stuff. Moving on to like completely different games that don't have anything to do with gacha stuff. As much as I really do love the gacha games because they have the budget to have amazing research into really interesting subjects.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, a greater variety of things. There's all sorts of things I have plans for. Like radio dramas, potentially a few different ones. Not exactly, because we'd have our models, but you know. Things along those lines.
Yeah.
Chatting with people about doing like script readings and things. But I have a really great group for that, and we have so many plans. Between all the different groups I'm in, if there's something I want to do, there's usually someone there to do it with me, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's great. And then, what would you say is your least favorite part about streaming?
Anytime I have to turn on Twitter.
Yeah. Awful.
I know it's great for like connecting with other VTubers, but beyond that, it's just like, why? Why is this the way it is?
Yeah, real. And then if you were able to pay somebody to do something that, so that you would never have to do it, what would you want that to be?
As much as I love editing, and I'm actually quite good at it, and like I have family members who are professional editors in LA and things, so I like have proper training in it. If I didn't have to take the time to like scrub for clips and edit things, that would make my life easier. So I think eventually an editor is probably the first thing I'll go for.
Right.
Though I'm gonna be really picky. Like that's the thing, I'm gonna be so picky, so I'm gonna have to end up spending a lot on editing, and I'm aware of that.
Right.
Because I have looked, and like a lot of the people are below the level I can edit, so I'm gonna have to go for someone with a significant amount of experience when I do.
Sure.
Which is gonna be pricey.
Yeah, definitely. Do you? So you kind of brought this up, but do you think having a major social media presence is necessary to growth, or do you think that it's possible to just sort of to grow like naturally on here just by, hopping on stream every day?
I think both, and I also think it really depends on who you are. So I do not think Twitter. We call it Twitter because X refers to way too many things. It's impossible to tell what thing you're talking about. So I don't
it's literally like a variable. That,
So I don't think Twitter specifically has any real use. Everyone I've seen grow by a post on Twitter, it was temporary, and they dropped back down to almost their normal viewership after the drama of whatever it was that made them grow went away.
Right.
So I think that specific type of social media, no. Things like Twitter and Blue Sky are really good for interacting with other VTubers. I've met tons of VTubers through it. I've found my groups and groups of people through it. I've made friends there, but I don't think it's been good for growth for anyone I've seen, honestly. But if we're like branching out to other types of social media, anything that does short form content, so like YouTube Shorts, TikTok, if you know how to use Instagram, probably Instagram Reels. I don't know how to use it, so I haven't bothered. But anything that actually does clips is going to be significantly better. And honestly, I've had so many people find me from those things. Tons and tons of people have come over from YouTube Shorts. Like a ridiculous number, actually. Not often from TikTok. For me, YouTube has been the best, other than Twitch, but honestly, I haven't had a problem with people finding me on Twitch. Even from the beginning, I've never streamed to 0. I've almost never streamed to 1, except like maybe day 1, but I'm pretty sure day 1 of streaming, I was streaming to 2 to 3 people. So for whatever reason, the algorithm has been quite kind to me on Twitch. And I've seen a lot of people only grow through Twitch. And I think with that, part of it's the algorithm, and part of it is making contacts with raids. So raiding into people you're interested in, building up a relationship with them, and then having it raid back and forth between the two of you and getting to know each other and building that kind of dynamic. Even if you don't become friends, there's a way to like help each other grow like that I think works equally well or even better than something like posting on Twitter. Yeah.
Good to know. Yeah. So I know you kind of mentioned 2 examples here, but are there any other games at the top of your streaming bucket list?
Oh, that's such a great question. I don't know. There's so many games. So when I was younger, my family was a Mac family, which means we didn't have a lot of options game-wise. I remember going to the store as a kid and being like, oh, look at that cool game. And my parents would be like, yeah, we can't play it on our computers. Here's the like 3 games that can be played on the computers we actually have, which I love Macs. I do actually love them. I don't have a problem with them at all. But when it comes to gaming, they're not great.
Right.
So there are so many things that like, I don't even know where to start. We have a massive library of games because my husband has been massively into gaming forever, so he has this huge library of things, and just like there's so many that I want to try out and just see if I like them and things. I do want to try the new Pokemon when it comes out. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, that should be good.
Whatever it is, XY Legends, or see, there's letters in it, and I think Legends in the title. I don't remember.
Yep. And then are there any games that have been blacklisted from your channel? Anything that's just
I'm not playing League. It's never happening.
Have people asked if you?
Nobody's asked me to play that. My community is generally in the same opinion on that.
Well, that's good.
Things like that. Like I'm not into the super competitive ones like that. I just don't like the vibe of it as much.
Right.
Like I don't have any interest in Marvel Rivals. It's blacklisted from my channel. It's just I'm not interested.
Sure. Okay. Do you have an Oshi? And if so, who are they?
I really don't. I don't think I have enough focus for that, is what I've kind of discovered. I kind of cycle through who I watch. There are so many people I watch, and it like totally depends on my opinion, or on like not my opinion, but my like how I feel that day on what I'm interested in, what I want to see.
And then, do you have like a dream collab partner, like that sort of like, the white whale that's like, oh man, I really would love to get them on, but oh man, it would be so difficult to try and get them on.
Not really. I don't think so. I feel like it's more fun to do stuff with friends. And I've been around entertainment long enough to know that, like, the persona people put on when streaming isn't necessarily anything like their actual personality.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know who I would actually get along with well enough to want to do things with without meeting them.
Right.
So I don't think I would ever reach out to someone to do a collab just because they're big and I like watching them.
Mm-hmm.
It would have to be a, like, I actually get to know them, become friends with them, and I've got a raid, by the way.
Yep, Britt, thank you very much for that. With Andromeda
Hey,
here,
Britt.
we're on my new in quotes show Sketchalog. We gotta work out a time to get you back on sometime. But yeah,
It's your fleshed out official show
exactly.
after testing it out on all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You made for marvelous guinea pigs.
I think we're all probably happy to be guinea pigs. It's fun. But yeah, I have more fun with people that I know that I'm friends with, so I need to meet them and see if we get along properly.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
And I don't know how to predict who I would actually get along with.
Yeah, that's fair. I get that. And do you have a sort of a dream collab of someone that you'd want, two creators that you'd want to see like working, like collabing together, just like as from the perspective of a viewer?
That doesn't already happen. You know what? I feel like there is something that I can't remember. Yeah, that's totally fair. And I swear there's a pair that I've talked about. It'd be really funny to see them together. And I don't remember who it was. Let me try and think for a second.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Let's see. I feel like it was probably like a hollow and not hollow collab I was thinking of. I just have no clue what it was. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure there. Because again, for me, it's like, I'd want them to be friends.
Right.
Yes, husband, will you make me tea? Thank you very much.
He's sick and you're making him make tea for you?
I'm not making him do anything. He just walked over with a tea bag and asked me if I wanted it. I was like, yeah, I'll take that.
All my love is completely given free.
We're all good. I'm not making him do anything.
Uh-huh. Likely story. So who would you put on the Mount Rushmore of VTubing, do you think?
Oh yeah, that's way different from what I said last time. I'm sticking with Doki Bird because I feel like she's made indie something that works.
Right.
It's really hard beyond that though. Everything changed so much.
Yeah.
Okay, who else has made massive waves in VTubing? Because to me, it's still that. It's whoever's made the biggest difference and helped people out the most.
Right.
We got the indie thing. I'm trying to remember who I said last time also. I know it's definitely changed. Because some things blew up.
Mm-hmm. That is certainly true.
Yeah. What did I say last time? I don't remember. Okay. Who is important? Who does things that are helpful to everybody? That make a massive difference? I guess anyone who ends up like bringing more attention to VTubing and how cool it is, and bringing more people in that aren't VTubers. Which I'm trying to think of who that is at this point in time. Which would be... I swear I didn't have this much trouble with this last time. Thinking of who exists, who hasn't changed recently, who's still doing stuff. I guess at this point, probably Iron Mouse. She has made a huge difference.
That is true.
Most people aren't going to join a corporation now. It's definitely a big change. That's still only 2. We need 4, right? Mount Rushmore's 4. I mean, I guess you gotta put Gura on there because... And I do specify because I don't think Saba has done the same things for just VTubing in general that Gura has. So I'd say her as someone who just like brought more eyes to VTubing than pretty much anyone else. And I'm still 1 short.
Yep.
Yeah. Hasn't done anything huge though. Oh yeah! Husband's correct! Nimi is getting married.
Yep.
And that has been a huge thing for VTubers. Making it more people announced engagements and marriage. Thank you, husband. Very helpful there. Okay, go back to sleep. Love you. Mwah. Okay, there's my 4. That is 4, right? Yeah.
Yep, that's 4.
I succeeded at 4.
You did it.
Yeah, 4. We got 4 people.
Next question. So for someone out there who might feel discouraged getting only maybe 2-3 viewers in stream at a time, what do you think that, they can do to either grow or to just be content with that amount?
Okay, so I actually have something to say about this. I made a post on Twitter a few days back. So I routinely like to go through Twitch and set the numbers backwards. So I see the smallest people and like go through them, right? Because I like finding... I do a thing where I like to raid into at least 1 person with less than 5 CCV. Once a week or once every 2 weeks if I'm feeling very overwhelmed and finding someone new is difficult. And I noticed something this last time that I did that. Pretty much everyone in the 3 and under range had either bad mic quality, was not talking enough, or had pre-rolls on. And all 3 of those are things that are gonna stop you from getting raids. If you have pre-rolls on, you're not gonna get raided. Because no one likes raiding in and instantly being hit by the ads. And also, if you're small enough, pre-rolls are a great deterrent from people watching you because they're not gonna sit through ads just to see who you are.
No.
So if you're small, do not have pre-rolls on. And then, of course, make sure that your mic is doing what it's supposed to be doing. There's all sorts of ways that you can get it to function. It doesn't matter. As long as you have a mic and you're not using like a headphone mic, there are all these like tutorials and charts and things you can use in order to get any just like even $100 or less mic to sound great. So spend the time to get your mic to sound good. Go check through your VODs to see how your mic is sounding. If it's too quiet, people won't hear you. If you're spiking and peaking constantly, it's gonna sound awful. If you have too much noise in the background, it's not good, but also you have too much noise suppression, it's not good. So learn how to deal with your audio. And then don't be quiet. You need to constantly talk, unless you're doing some story-based something and you're in the middle of the story and your game is doing the talking for you. There should never be silence. So those are the 3 things that I saw consistently on every single person. I went through, so what I do is I go on Twitch, I type in VTuber tag, and then flip it to lowest viewers to highest viewers, and I'll go through until I find someone I think is going to be fun to raid. I didn't find anybody because no one didn't have one of those problems. And I went through the bottom like 100 VTubers.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, it was a really consistent problem. So I would say do those. There's other stuff too. Like, if we're assuming these are people who care about growth, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so assuming that you care about your growth, make sure that you are playing a game that you can be seen in. So if you are averaging 3 or fewer people, don't currently be on Genshin because everybody's playing it. I say this as I'm playing Genshin. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Because no one's gonna see you. There are thousands of people. So you can check, is it Twitch Stream Tracker? It has a little turquoise kind of hedge as its symbol. I think it's Twitch Tracker. It maybe is supposed to be a T, I'm not sure. You can check it. You can go to a game. You can go and check what the weekly stats are for how often, or for how many viewers to how many streamers there are. And you can see if you're going to be seen. Don't use the one on Twitch. It does not work. It's not helpful in any way at all. 90% of the time it'll be like, hey, you're going to be 75 down, and then I'm in the top 3. It's like, well, that's not helpful.
Yeah.
Clearly their numbers are not functioning there. But yeah, the Twitch stream tracker, actually, hang on. Let me Google this really quickly. Just because it is very important and very helpful. So you can check and see how many people are streaming something, and it'll tell you at different times of day what percentage difference there is between streamers and audience. So you want to avoid games where there are tons of streamers and not very much audience. Twitch tracker, yeah. And it has like a green pie symbol. So if you go in there, you search up a game, you can check and see what the percentage is. So if you're really small, you want to avoid those. You want to find like mid-range games. One of the reasons that I did pretty well starting off is because I was on a mid-range game. I was on Sky Children of the Light, which these days I don't like very much because I'm not a fan of the way their developers are doing things.
Damn.
But it was a great place to start, especially at the time when I did. I don't think it would be good right now. It kind of had its bubble, and the bubble has since burst.
Oof.
So I wouldn't like try and do what I did and follow that particular thing. Also, the reason I did as well on that one as I did is because I've been playing it almost since day one. So I had a lot of people coming in and just like asking how to deal with stuff on there. So it'd be like a combination of finding something that you're an expert on for whatever reason. Maybe you've been playing it since you were a kid. Maybe you're one of the top players. Something that you can give advice on to people, because if you have that like specialized thing instead of just being someone who plays this game, you'll have a reason why people want to come watch you instead of someone else. Because the key is finding a reason why people will want to watch you instead of someone else.
Right.
Because there are so many streamers. You need to give people a reason why you're the one they should be watching. And you can't just say like, hey, watch me instead of anyone else. I guarantee that'll end badly.
Yeah.
But I do also think that your model has something to do with it. You want to have intriguing visuals that people want to come see. That doesn't mean it has to be prettier than everyone else. It could be weirder than everyone else. Just something that makes people want to click. We have a great thing on Twitch where like we don't have to have thumbnails. They just do it for us. And we can go and just go live. It's fantastic, but it means that your setup needs to be something that constantly is going to get people to click in.
Sure.
So that includes your model, that includes whether or not you have overlays. And I did notice something interesting. Not very many people do overlays these days. I still do because I like it. I like what it looks like. I think it's quite pretty. And it works around different types of gaming. sometimes you do need some sort of background, because if you're switching between like Switch and mobile and different size games, there's going to either be, you know, like black in the background, just nothing there, or you want to have some sort of background.
Right.
But yeah, visually appealing, make sure your audio is doing well, make sure you're constantly talking, make sure you don't have pre-rolls on. And also, you want to make sure you fit your model. There have been a solid number of times where I've seen a really cool model, clicked in, and the person doesn't sound like they fit the model and doesn't act like they fit the model. So there's this like dissonance,
Right.
which you can totally play up. It can work, but sometimes it doesn't. So just like, be careful on that one.
So, you remember when I wrote this question, the situation kind of in like the VTuber space was very there was a very specific thing on people's minds at the time, which was the whole Cinder drama. But besides the more obvious issues, kind of like drama behind the scenes stuff, and then also like more recently with like agency. Like corporate greed and stuff like that. What are some things that the VTuber community could like use some work on?
This is gonna sound so mean, but growing up and being adults and acting like adults in general, there is this like high school mentality that continues on, which is why all of these problems happen. There's the standard, as a VTuber, no one knows who you are, no one knows what your face looks like, so people have the whole like, well, I can treat people however I want. Except that's not true, and it's never true, and it will never be true, but it is a massive problem. I don't think it is solely problematic for VTubers. I believe it is the same in any performing arts thing, as someone who's been in a few different types. There's always the like hierarchy and who's doing better numbers and who's doing better this, and how can you do better either by following their ways or solid number of people who want to use people to grow, which I have come across so many people. A solid majority of people I've run into are definitely of the variety of like, I want to use your numbers to make my numbers bigger.
Right.
And I do want to say to people, it doesn't work. Remember that somebody's audience is not going to switch over to yours.
Yeah.
They're there for that person. And you are not going to be able to steal them. But yeah, a lot of people do think that like collabing with someone bigger than them is going to get them noticed. And my experience in collabs is my numbers always go down. I never gain anyone from anyone else's communities collabing. I have fun with friends. I always say like if I'm collabing with someone, it's because I think they're super cool. And I'm willing to take hits in numbers because I don't really care that much about my numbers. It has never, ever, not once gotten me a growth of any kind. So yeah, the people who want to use collabs in order to grow, it doesn't usually work. And I've seen it with most of my friends as well. Almost everyone has lower numbers during collabs, which is fine. We're not doing it for the numbers. We're doing it because it's fun. And we like hanging out together. But yeah, I'd say it's definitely a red flag, anyone who wants to collab with you. The ones who are like, wait, you have to stream while we're collabing. That's one of the biggest red flags, because you know that they're after your numbers.
I always...
And your audience. Yeah.
I never insist that my guests stream while I'm like doing the show. It's just... I mean, for one, it feels weird, because it's like... You're accommodating me for my stupid thing, just like because I wanted to do it. But also, it definitely just feels like, hey, I'm here for clicks and numbers, baby.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people who are like that, so we just steer clear of them. I don't actually remember what your original question was at this point.
What do you think the VTuber community needs work on?
Yeah, just not being so me first, being more community oriented. There's so many people who say they are, but like most of them aren't. There's so many bigger people, not huge, I'm talking the like 75 to 200 CCV range who pretend to care about smaller streamers, and they really don't. It's just for getting attention.
Yeah.
And it's pretty easy to tell after a little while, but yeah, when you're new in the VTuber community, you maybe don't realize that the like Twitter post on small streamers matter too. They don't care. It's just because it will get them views and likes, and then people will think that they're good. But then if you go and check, the people they respond to are only the people with significantly higher follower counts or CCVs.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much consistently. I don't think I've ever seen someone where it was real. So yeah, mostly caring about the community and not just yourself.
Mm.
But I also know that a lot of YouTubers are young. And this is where I don't judge so much and I try to teach instead.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they've just barely left high school.
Yeah.
So they don't know how to move in the world, and they're getting this like VTuber thing, and then they get popular and they have people following them, and they assume that what they think is right because they have the echo chamber of their chat telling them that they're right. Which is pretty problematic, honestly, for anybody, not just VTubers.
Yeah, exactly. What's your sort of experience with like conventions and stuff like that?
I've gone to a couple as a guest, not many, not often. I like the art. It's nice going and getting fun pieces of art from conventions.
Yeah. And then, would you ever want to do like this doesn't exactly seem like your style, but if ever you were given the chance, would you want to do a meet and greet at a convention if ever you were given the...
I mean, I'm part of a couple of groups that have offered it, and I haven't chosen to do it, so I don't know. I have had the opportunity, technically. I didn't say that I wanted to. There's a couple of things that I'm part of that have like sign-up sheets for meet and greets at things like that,
Yeah.
where anyone can sign up, and I just didn't feel the interest to do it.
Okay.
Maybe someday. But also potentially not.
Just not your steez.
I think it would really depend on like how I was feeling at the time. This is my problem. This is why I like streaming, and this is why I switched my... So I used to have very detailed stream schedules where I'd say exactly what I was doing each day.
Yeah.
But then half the time I wouldn't want to do it when the day came around. Like I didn't want to play that game. I wanted to play a different game.
Yep.
And then I wouldn't have fun. And if I wasn't having fun, my chat wouldn't have fun. So I've switched over to a schedule where it's like, here's when I'll be live. Stop by to see what we're doing today.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. And sometimes even when I hit live, I don't know what I'm going to do that day. And I'll put a poll up and be like, guys, I want to do one of these 3 things. I can't decide. Someone else decide for me. So just like knowing myself and my personality, I have to be really sure I was in the mood for interacting with people on that level.
Right.
And I don't know if I would be.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
But hey, a lot has changed since I started streaming. Even just like with how much of myself I feel comfortable showing and sharing. So anything is possible. Maybe in a couple of years, I'll think it's the most fun thing ever.
Yeah, sure. Speaking of that was an excellent segue there. Where would you like to be in a year or even like 5 years' time?
Well, my goal with VTubing... Wait, I gotta stretch, Redeem. Gotta stretch.
Yeah.
Thank you for the stretch, guys. So for me, VTubing, one of the reasons I got into it, one of the reasons that I got into it as much as I'm in it, was because I was teaching high school, and the kids don't care about learning. And I got sick of it, and I was like, you know what? I could just go do stuff online, and the people who care will be able to watch it.
Yeah.
So one of my focuses still is, like, providing people with the stuff that they weren't able to get on their own, because I have a very privileged education background, which is very expensive to get, which I think is silly. So one of the things I like doing is just like providing that to the people who wouldn't otherwise have that. So my desire and growth has always just been to have a wider, like, to be able to make it available to more people who haven't had those opportunities in their life. So my degrees are in classics, so ancient cultures, humanities, thinking about people and how different societies work together and get along with each other or don't, and just like accepting different groups of people, which I think is really important for a lot of people to learn. But the humanities are not generally something that is emphasized in school.
Right.
And it's something that there's like not funding for and things like that. So, and on top of that, it's always been kind of like you have to learn it from one of us. There's not a lot online, there's not a lot of really good books. You kind of have to get a degree in classics to learn all this stuff. And I don't really love that about it. I don't like how, like, club-like it is.
Sure.
I think it's something that people should have better access to. And the same with acting. It's stupidly expensive to get a degree in acting, and most people will never be good enough to use it. So the fact that so many people have to go in debt to find out they're not good enough is insane. So I like providing that stuff as cheap as possible. Obviously, I can't do everything for free forever.
No.
But I can make stuff more accessible to people. I can, like, I did a YouTube video on just like the stuff to know before you get into acting. Here are the things that people don't like about it. These are things you can't not do. These will happen to you. Think about whether you're okay with it before you go and spend the money on a degree or on training or whatever. And then my last one's astronomy, which, I mean, realistically, no one's accidentally getting into astronomy, so that one's less of a thing that I want to spread to people. But my goal has always been to be able to spread this information to the people who really want to learn it, which does involve growing and involves getting bigger and being able to have bigger reach to people who are interested and the people who don't have the money to be able to spend tons on these things.
Yeah.
So my hope is that in 5 years, I'll have far enough reach to be able to, like, if there's someone interested in one of these topics, they'll be able to learn that info from me, from a video I have, or from coming to a stream, or whatever. That's my general goal. It's a little different than, like, a lot of normal VTuber goals, but yeah, mine is to make information more accessible to people.
It's a very good goal. I like it.
Yeah.
Do you have any kind of selfish or maybe outlandish goals for your streaming career? You know, the kind of stuff that, like, maybe you don't, like, tell people that's what your goal is, but, like, you definitely are still thinking about it.
I mean, I would love to be able to have it be, like, full-time job, but also a lot of that is so that I can have the reach to be able to provide people with the stuff I want to provide them with. I don't think if there's anything more selfish than that.
Any, like, dream sponsorships, any big, like,
Oh,
projects
you know
wanna
what?
get done?
Actually, yeah, there's a couple of literacy, which realistically, I don't know if this is a huge stretch or anything, but they're like literacy foundations that help provide books to people and teach reading to people who don't have a lot of that. That's kind of what I would love to do sponsorship-wise. I love playing games, and, like, once I hit the requisite numbers, I will absolutely apply for, like, Hoyo sponsorship, the proper one. Because I do love their games, and I think they teach really good stuff. Like, history-wise and mythology-wise. But yeah, I was looking into a couple of places that help with literacy in North America, because that's where I am, but I'd love to look into them in other countries as well. I don't know if it's a huge stretch. I think realistically, they don't know what VTubers are, and if I could prove I had decent enough numbers for them, they'd probably be pretty cool with it. But yeah, that's more like the route I'd love to go.
And then, what would you say is your hottest VTuber take?
I mean, I feel like some people, and this isn't even about VTubing, this is about art in general. I think some people get into it not understanding how much work it's gonna take.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, a lot of people are not cut out for the level of work that it will take, even just as a hobby. And I wish there were some way to show people how much this is really going to take before they spend a couple $1,000s getting everything made and all of those things. Because it seems like every other piece of art, it seems fun, it seems glamorous, it seems like everything's great. But the reality in any performing art is always, it is going to be a complete time suck. You'll never spend any of your time thinking about anything else, really. It's going to make it so that you miss things. You either decide that you're going to stream or you might miss somebody's birthday. It's the same as acting in that way, where like if you're really going to do this 100%, it's going to be on your mind 100% of the time. And it kind of needs to be. Unless, I mean, if you're doing it fully as a hobby and growth is not something you're interested in and you just want to occasionally pop on to stream some fun games with your VTuber model, it's totally different.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're more talking about just like the ones who are going for career or things along those lines. With all arts, I wish that there was more talk about the commitment that it takes. There's all the jokes about like starving artists and all that stuff, and people talking about like, oh, art's not a real career. But realistically, artists of any kind, which VTubers count as artists, performing artists, spend more time working than people who do 9 to 5s because you don't have the luxury of turning it off in the same way.
Right.
Is it easier, the work itself easier? Depends on your job. Like with any 9 to 5 jobs, some of them are going to be way harder, some of them are going to be way easier. I would say being a CEO is way easier than being a VTuber. You're not doing anything. So it really depends.
Yeah.
I know there was like a hot debate on this a while back on people getting mad at each other for saying one was easier than the other, but like there's such a wide variety of 9 to 5 jobs. Some are easier, some are harder.
Yeah.
But what nobody ever talks about is that if you're working a 9 to 5, you go home at the end of the day. Some people will have to take their work with them, but there's a lot of jobs where you leave work at work. But if you're VTubing, if you're streaming, or doing any kind of art, if you're acting, VTubing, streaming, if you're a musician, it's something that's always there and something you always can work on.
Yeah.
You can always be like, hey, I need to spend just 2 more hours clipping. Just another half an hour writing this song. And then all of a sudden it's 3 a.m. and there's no one to stop you. Unless you do have people there to stop you. But that's kind of the difference there. And I think people don't understand that. Because there's a solid thinking of like being a streamer is super easy. But there's never that conversation that like if you're a streamer as a business, you have to constantly be thinking about what the next thing you're going to do is. You have to constantly be thinking about what did your audience like this time? What's your newest piece of this? What trend do you need to follow? Did you accidentally say something that's going to get you canceled? To a greater extent than many other jobs. So yeah, just like how all-encompassing the stuff is.
Right. Yeah, definitely, for sure. So next up is the VTuber content lightning round.
Okay.
In this segment, I'll give you a popular kind of VTuber content, and I just want you to give me your gut feeling about them, either from the perspective of making the content or consuming the content.
Okay.
Okay. First things first, reaction videos.
I feel like they can be fun to watch depending on who it is. There's some people who are really good at reactions. Sometimes I feel like it's a little lazy. For some people, it comes off as lazy content. For some people, it comes off as good content. And I feel like it just depends on who the person is.
Yeah.
On whether they're doing it because they know they're good at it or whether they're doing it because they don't have any other ideas.
Song covers.
I mean, if you can sing, great. There's a lot of people I've seen do song covers that can't sing and try to just edit it to the point of making it sound like they can sing. Now, I do come from a musical theater background, a lot of musicians and singers and things along those lines. So I will say that if I find a cool VTuber and they do try to cover something and they're not very good at it, it does kind of turn me off their content. I think there's a lot more people who think they're singers than there are who actually are singers. So sometimes, I know a while back there was a really controversial thing of a sound editor refusing to take someone's business because they weren't good enough. And everyone getting really mad at that person, and I was like, that is exactly the sound editor I'd want.
Right.
If I ever chose to sing, which, I mean, I have training, but honestly, I don't feel like I'm necessarily good enough to do it, despite the fact I actually have years of training. I would want someone who says, no, this is not good enough, you shouldn't put this on the internet.
Right.
And I feel like a lot of people just want to be singers and don't quite have the greater understanding that maybe they're not, or they need to practice more. And there's this anger at people telling them that they might need to practice more, which I do think is a bit of a problem. Specifically with VTubers. I've seen it happen a lot. Covers or non-covers, whatever they're singing, but yeah, usually it's covers. And I would say like 10% of the time they're good, and the rest of the time they maybe should have done more work.
Right.
Which is probably on the hot take side of things as well, honestly. I know it's not a popular opinion, but it does come from my time in acting and just like seeing the level of work it really takes to be a good singer versus the people who don't put any work in and want to post something.
Yeah.
And want to get the same level of praise that people who have been studying this for 15 or more years get, and then getting mad that they're not getting that level of praise.
Right, yeah. Various, next up is the various, like, marathons and stuff like that, your subathons, donathons, that kind of thing.
Honestly, I feel like they kind of mess stuff up. I tend to not watch people when they're doing a-thons in general. I know it's a thing that everyone likes. People keep trying to get me to do subathons and things, and I just don't like the idea of it. I can maybe see doing it for like a birthday or something big, anniversary, birthday, something along those lines. But I guess I've just never really understood why you would want to do it.
Money.
Yeah, it's just money. And it really, to me, it comes off as people like begging for money, kind of. It's different if you're doing, so this is where I'll put like a difference. If you're doing like a charity subathon or donathon or something along those lines, I feel like that's really different. But if it's just I want to do a donathon, so you guys should give me money, I don't really like it, and I tend to not watch those.
Yeah. And then kind of this is the second half is all sort of different kinds of like gaming and stuff. So like competitive gaming, like anything with like a ranked mode in it, anything like
It's never been something I've done. I'm not against it.
Okay.
And it can be fun to watch people who are really good at stuff. It probably isn't something I'll ever make, just because I've never really participated in that kind of gaming. But I don't have anything against it, and I think it's really cool when people are that good at something that they can show it off. I think that definitely shows up in like what I was saying earlier about if you're trying to grow, find your niche. So if you're really good at a game and you can rank competitively, absolutely.
Speedrunning.
Speedrunning's fun. Honestly, it's one of my favorite things to watch. I know some really cool speedrunners. Some of my first friends were speedrunners in Journey. They're really neat people.
Mm-hmm. Challenge runs, stuff like Nuzlocke's, like playing a game with only like one weapon, that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah. I think those are really fun too. Sometimes games are too easy and you do need to spice it up. I am going to start a challenge run of Genshin soon. Kind of. It's like half challenge run, half lore. The challenge is there only because it works with the lore.
Okay.
But yeah, challenge runs can be quite a bit of fun, both to watch and to do.
The unfortunately titled Friend Slop, however, my previous guest Joe Cat suggested they're just party games. Like stuff like Peak, Repo, Lethal Company, those kinds of games.
Honestly, those are the things, if I'm going to watch a big streamer, that's what I'm going to watch. I almost never watch their solo streams.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, there's a few people I'll watch their solo streams, but for the most part, if I'm watching someone big, I'm going to be watching one of those because it's really fun to watch how everyone interacts with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So for like the bigger streamers, I think that is definitely like the bread and butter kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they're fun to play too.
Yeah, definitely. I've had a recent hankering for playing Peak, so I'm always on the lookout
Peak is
for
fun.
people who want to play it. And then full plays, stuff like just going through an entire game, not in one sitting, but like just like just playing through the whole game as if you were just playing the game.
I feel like that's a good way. I've been debating which way I like doing things, whether I like doing like each day of the week is a different game, or if I like doing chunks where we play like one specific game for a while. And I kind of go back and forth. I feel like I like it better when people play through a game and then switch to another game. But maybe like break it up a little bit with occasional changes and things.
Right.
But I also, like, I know so many people just play part of a game and never finish it, and I don't see anything wrong with that one either.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I don't have a strong opinion either direction on this one.
Yeah, it's fair. And that's the lightning round.
Yay!
So now we're on to lower questions, stuff about that. These are all very new and very untested, so bear with me. But so first up, do you prefer VTuber lore to be more simple or more detailed?
I honestly feel like it depends on the person. I think some people, simple is great, and for some people, they're so good at playing into the really complex lore that it's so cool to see.
How do you feel about VTubers being in character, tying their streaming personalities to their lore?
Again, I think it totally depends on the person. I think for some people, that is absolutely the way to go. And for some people, it is definitely better for them to just be themselves, but with an avatar. I don't think there's a better version either direction. I think it really is just whatever works better for the person. Some people can't play their character. So if they don't have that ability to play a character, they probably shouldn't be doing it. I don't see too many of those, luckily. Most people do seem to be well aware of what they can and can't do. But yeah, I'd say that's the only time I would say there's a problem is when the person doesn't have the acting skills to play a character that they're trying to, and it gets a little just kind of uncomfy occasionally when they're trying too hard at something they're not good at, like that. But I don't think there's like one that's better than the other. Just like know your skills, know what you're good at, what you're comfy with, and go that way.
What do you think are what do you believe are important aspects to making lore for yourself?
Oh, that's so hard. I feel like there's so many ways to go about making lore. I think the important piece is that it fits you. And that could be a couple of different ways, whether it's something that you aspire to, that then having that lore lets you live it a little bit better. or if it's something that that really like is a part of your personality, or a really big piece of your personality. That could also be really good. Again, I think this is really personal, but the main piece is that it does somehow fit you,
Okay.
and that like you're not so far outside your comfort zone. I don't usually see it in indies as much. Sometimes corporate VTubers, because they're forced to take on a character, will have more of an issue with that.
Right.
Sometimes it doesn't quite sync as well as it could, or you're like, well, that other person who came in the same gen would have actually played that character better.
Right. Can you give us like the elevator pitch, like the 1 to 2 minute pitch of your lore?
Oh yeah, the most I've gotten on mine, which I honestly, I tried to lore for a while, and then I was just like, you know what, I don't know how much I care about lore. So I am a Star Fox. I used to be an Astro Librarian, but I got lost, which happens a lot in games. If you watch me play things, I get lost more than I should, honestly. Way too often. So yeah, that was not originally a piece of my lore, but I added it in because I never don't get lost. Like, I'll be playing a game, and it's so bad. I look at the map, I close the map, and then I can't find the thing that I'm trying to get. So I was like, you know what, that needs to be added into my lore, because it's really bad. And my chat is playing Lost right now. I have a Lost sound alert.
Oh, okay.
Because of it. But yeah, so, and then I wound up on Earth. I accidentally went the wrong direction. I wound up on Earth, and I discovered that there's lots of yummy food and fun games to play. And then Nether came to try and find me. The library sent him to come and try and find me, but I convinced him to stay here and marry me instead. So now we just chill here, and we don't go back to the library. But I still have all the knowledge of the library, and I still like teaching people from it. I'm just not going back.
That's good. I like that. Very, very simple, but also very, very fun and appropriate. Very good. Very good.
Yep. That's the basics.
Yeah. So did you have everything kind of planned out, or have you just been making things up as you've been going?
As I go. Yeah, when I started, it was just like, I think VTubing is cool. I think it's a way that I can make content in a way that I'm comfy with, as opposed to the like icky feelings I used to get with acting and stuff.
Yeah.
And then at first I was stalling, because it's like, it's scary to try something new. It's scary to see if like, is it gonna work? I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it'll work.
Yeah.
So I stalled for a long time trying to like come up with the perfect name and the perfect lore and things. Then I was like, you know what? Never mind. It doesn't matter. Just try streaming. And then I kind of forgot about lore for like a long time, until I was finding my new. Well, actually, I have a redeem kind of on my channel where every time we hit a milestone, which I made them small. It's like when we hit our newest follower goal, or sub goal, or bit goal, or hype train goals, or whatever, then I give a certain amount of a new fact, essentially. So I have this like massive fact sheet of things, which we're not even halfway through.
Oof.
Yeah, I know. I think it's might be like a D&D character fact sheet. I don't know. I found it through other VTubers who had it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I kind of did it so that I would force myself to do a little bit of the lore work.
Right.
Because I wasn't. I was just like, it doesn't matter. Lore doesn't matter. We're just gonna ignore it. But yeah, no, it does actually matter a little bit. At least having a little. I have found that having at least a little bit of lore helps people remember who you are and things along those lines. So I force myself to do it now.
And then you can answer the next question. How flexible are you with the canon of your lore? I guess you just
Well, so to a certain extent, when I was really early on streaming, someone came in and they're like, I have an idea of what your lore should be. I'm going to write it all down and share it with you. And like, I'm not that flexible
right.
to someone else telling me what they think my lore is. But like, there's not a lot of specifics.
Yeah.
And I feel like little pieces can easily be added in. But yeah, I'm not really down for my chat just saying, this is what your lore is now. A little suggestion of like, hey, it'd be really funny if you added this into your lore. That kind of thing is fine.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody just trying to tell me what my lore is definitely doesn't make me happy.
I can see that. And then, do you, the last sort of structure question, is there any, you think you could break us off a fact about your lore, what we got you here?
Just like any, I kind of told you all of it.
All of it? You're right.
Yeah, I don't feel like I have anything else. That was the extent. I really haven't gone deep into lore. I wish I had. I wish I had something cool. But yeah, I've kind of blended together, like, I wanted to find a way to have my lore make it so that I could share the kind of facts and things that I have that I want to share with people.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Which is where the, like, library thing came in. But honestly, I haven't gone beyond that.
Right.
I shared my elevator pitch is the extent of my lore at the moment. It's not good. I need to do some more work on it at some point in time. But there's so many things I need to do more work on.
Yeah, I feel that.
I'd love to share more, but I don't think there is any. Every time I start writing it, I have like 3 sentences total. It mostly just lives in my head at this point in time.
Mm-hmm. Do what you can do, right?
Yeah.
And then this one is kind of I came up with this one like before the show started, and I figured I might as well just give it a whirl. So being a female creator on the internet, the space, I imagine you get no shortage of treatment that is something that perhaps us male creators do not get at all from like other
I have
creators.
had fewer issues. So I have a nice little I'm very open about being married.
Mm-hmm.
My husband is one of my mods and he's around a lot of the time. My chat knows I'm married and that the rules for being here are you can like my model. I like my model. I think my model's super hot. We're all okay with that, but you have to remember that the person behind the model is not available.
Right.
So any weird comments towards that will get you banned. And honestly, most people are really good about it. I haven't had that many issues. Ironically, I had more issues with my last model than I do with this one, which I don't understand. That doesn't actually make any sense. But like, I have a good community that if someone asks a weird question, the whole chat will be like, that's a question I'm not allowed to ask. And deal with them for me a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I know that I am a little bit luckier just in being married and being really open about it. A lot of the grosser people just don't show up.
Right.
Because I made sure to have it, like, all over every page that I have. And I know a lot of the married VTubers do the same thing just because it keeps the creeps away.
Yeah. I mean, hey, that's pretty
But yeah,
good.
I've definitely seen other female friends have much worse problems. To the extent of like maybe thinking about pretending to have a partner just to get rid of the creeps. Like,
Right.
other people do have that level of an issue. But yeah, I'm lucky. I have a shield.
And yeah, that is all of my structured written out questions. And as always, and as you're familiar with, I always like to give the interviewer mic over to my guests and allow them to ask me any questions they might have.
Oh yeah. Well, since the last time I was on here, you've gotten this thing all structured up. And you've managed to have some pretty cool people on here. I'm not evil, so I'm not going to ask you who your favorite person you've interviewed is. Because we don't say those things.
No.
That is a big entertainment industry no-no, so I'm not going to be mean with that.
Yeah.
Bad question. But what's your favorite thing about doing it? Is there like a really cool fact you've learned from someone that you've been able to like implement on your own channel and on yourself that made a huge difference?
I think definitely I've been able to get a lot of different bits of advice from people. Like I always cite your interview as one that I got a lot of good insights from on because it's true.
Happy to help.
Yep. But like more so
you don't have
that,
to say the people.
Yeah.
Just curious like what the info was.
It's a lot of like kind of similar stuff to what you said, like you know, keep VTuber designs, just like keep that simple, you know, try and not make this feel like don't come at this from like the angle of trying to like make it into something, you know, that kind of stuff. But I think like the thing I enjoy the most about doing this is just that like being like getting familiar with like these kinds of people, because like for instance like having like Joe Cat on the show was crazy. I did not expect him to like say yes to coming on. I was very much like surprised that he wanted to do it, and then it was like super chill like the whole time. So it was very much like a thing of just being able to like put a person behind the avatar, I guess, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get to know people a little differently when you're interviewing them versus just watching their content.
Yeah, exactly.
What things do you wish you could change about this interview? Obviously, you can change it as much as you want, but there's like a structure you have going, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in an ideal world, with money not being an object, would you have like a specific setting for it? Would you have specific backgrounds? Would you have it air on YouTube versus Twitch? What kind of, or would you want to like make it a show that airs on, I don't know, like Netflix or Hulu type of thing, with no obstacles in your way? What is the ideal, like, not end point, but future point for these shows?
I think the ideal is definitely something akin to like just a VTuber version of Hot Ones.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's definitely a big inspiration for me for this show, and I think being able to have each of these be a like really like a good like a tightly edited like sort of thing with like, you know, it's very snappy, it's very very concise, but also very like you know, we're always getting like the good answers out of people. I think that is that would be like the dream for the show for sure.
So then with Hot Ones, one of the things he does is he like really goes into depth into people's pasts and like really cool info about them. So is that something you want to start doing, like specifically tailoring questions to the people you have on?
Yes, definitely. I when I had on Maki, she is another. She also does an interview show, and she asked me beforehand. She's like, "Oh, you don't like you have like a list of questions for your guest already. Like it's not just like a because she does go into and like do like more detailed questions on people, and I was like I would love to, but I work full time and I just can't. Like that's not in the cards for this guy, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I think that would be another thing I would. Given the opportunity, I would love to be able to like make more personalized Nardwuar level of research for stuff.
Yeah.
Because like I did have personalized questions for Joe Cat when he was on, but that's only because I like was familiar with his content beforehand. Yeah.
Well, that's something where theoretically, if you had the cash for it, you could pay someone else to do it.
Yeah, that's also true.
That'd be in the future, when there's no limits.
Yeah.
Well, I guess would be a question. Would you want to do that research yourself?
I wouldn't
or
be opposed to it. I think like maybe like one or two other people like helping, but I definitely wouldn't want to just offload it onto somebody. I think
having a team for it.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good question. So eventually, when this is bigger, what positions do you want on a team?
I think definitely an editor to like make like edited version for the show, like a YouTube version of the show. I think I am currently working with a manager, as you've seen in the server.
Yep, you got yourself a manager. Excellent.
Yep. I would like to be able to continue working with her because, yeah, she's great. I think, honestly, this is a pretty simple like operation here. So it does not really require like that many people to run. I think obviously if I was trying more and more things, that would be something that would definitely be useful in the future. But like I think just kind of as of right now, it's like an editor and then my manager and then like a social media person maybe, and then that'll be it.
That's what I was gonna ask. Like, do you want to do the social media yourself? Because like, generally a team would be like social media manager, editor, maybe someone who does go out and find the people, so you don't have to do that hunting through, searching through people.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like the worst thing. It is, as Maki warned me after our when she was her turn to ask me questions, she was like, "Why the hell did you decide to do this? Getting in touch with VTubers is the worst shit ever." And I'm like, "What? You're just playing. You're just being silly now." I don't think that's the case at all.
I really don't think that's the case either.
It is. I'll just say this: it is not super easy to do because sometimes people do not like to respond to DMs when they get them.
Well, I feel like it really is a matter of like checking out the person. I don't think I've ever had a problem getting a hold of someone, but also like I pay attention to how they interact with other people, and I can usually tell who's not going to respond to DMs based on the way they treat people in responses. I don't know if that would help you in any way at all, but I've never, the only times I ever had trouble tracking anyone down was ironically for that event we did. I cannot tell you how many members of that event didn't leave us any way to contact them. No open DMs, an incorrect Discord handle, and no open anything anywhere. It was insane. We had to go through TikTok comments to get a hold of a couple of people.
That's bizarre. I don't...
And that's for people who signed up for a thing we were doing.
Yeah.
Only time I've had trouble getting a hold of somebody.
Wild.
Which is a little insane. But yeah, I do feel like the way that, like, you're asking them to join you on something.
Yes.
Which, of course, is going to be a little bit more complicated. Usually when I'm content tagging people, it's like, hey, you didn't put the person who did your profile pic on your page anywhere. Who was it?
Yeah.
Or something along those lines.
I will say, I have also tried getting in tried and succeeded in some cases getting in contact with artists and sometimes not safe for work artists, and they are more responsive, but I feel very bad for why they're more responsive, because I know why they're more responsive, and that's because they are expecting commission requests in their DMs, not me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's fair, yeah.
I always apologize to my artist friends for getting their hopes up, but they've always been very nice about it. So.
I mean, if you put it in your opening message, it's not really a big deal.
Yeah.
As long as you're like, not like, hey, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, exactly.
You get flagged as a bot instantly. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can think of for questions for you. I assume this is going well. It seems like it's gotten much bigger than it used to be.
Yeah, I definitely think so.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, I made it to affiliate after our previous interview, so that's something.
Yeah. So the interviews are working well for you. Is that what you're mostly focusing on these days?
Yes. Yeah. I haven't really been doing many other streams besides these. I'd like to be able to do more stuff. For instance, I'm planning I'm not sure how to describe it. It's kind of like another one of these, but I'll be doing it with an artist and VTuber who I had on Kuago. And I want to have her on to teach me how to do rigging in Live 2D.
Oh, cool.
And it's the name I have right now is the Boss of Tutorials. Because that's
okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
like making videos that not only teach you, but you can put out there, and then it'll teach other people as well.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Different, but still within the same vein.
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel like that's good, having that focus on, like, are you gonna do kind of interviews with that as well, or mostly just the teaching you?
I was probably going to have it be more just like them teaching, but
Cool.
yeah.
Both are good options. But yeah, a little bit of variety is good. From what I've heard and experienced from YouTube channels, it's always good to have two different channels for those, since they're different things. For whatever reason, people don't like having different things on their YouTube channels, the viewers.
Yeah.
But yeah, seems like it's all going well. Seems like things have changed for the positive, which is so great to see.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like that's all I can think of
Okay.
at the moment. I feel like I asked other questions last time. I just don't know what they were.
Yeah, me neither. But as always, I feel like a party host rushing his guests out when I say this. But once the question, like once you're finished with all your questions, then I will not keep you any longer, and you're more than welcome to sign off if you would like to.
Gonna not die really quickly in Genshin, and check on the progress of the drawing. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm going to. I'll just send it over to you then.
That's so cute. But yeah, I will probably head out soon. That's so adorable. Hopefully fun to do. Oh yeah, I had to make this fun little boob cover so that it didn't break TOS.
Mm-hmm. Good idea. Good idea.
We don't break the TOS here.
Wait,
Yeah.
do you have a suggestion on who to raid into? I see Bambi is streaming right now.
Right. I should check and see who's live. Who's live? Also need to make it so nobody can raid into me while I raid out. Yeah, I don't know if this is something I've told you before, but I always suggest have your turn off raids button available for anybody.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, the number of people who raid in. Oh, I'm probably going to head over to Desta. Because I want to go bother him. Desta 46 is where I will likely head. Let me check who else is on right now.
Let's see here. I think I'll toss you guys towards Showcat. He's streaming right now, so.
Yeah, I'm going to go send everybody over to Desta. We'll go attack him. It'll be fun. And we all send him potatoes. I don't know if you've seen my potato. Wait, I can put it in the chat.
Yeah, put it in the chat.
I love my potato so much. I drew this a while back because the group of people, one of the groups I hang out with, Bambi does the Naki. Bambi, she's not really a potato, but the potato is kind of her thing. And we were coming up with a name for a Minecraft server at one point in time. And I was like, oh, we could be like fuzzy potatoes. And then I had this idea. And that night, after stream, I just whipped this thing out, drew a potato, put some ears on it, and a little smiley face. It now haunts everyone's dreams, and I'm so pleased with it. But yeah, there it is.
There and
No, they were on.
So whenever I raid into Bammy or Desta, I send them potatoes because they
imagine
eat
if they were
them.
barefoot.
And I love it.
All right. Well,
But yeah,
this has been very
Thank you.
fun.
yeah, thank you for the interview and the drawing. It's been so much fun. I'm so glad this is going so well for you.
Thanks for the
We
raid.
have a
And
proposed
yeah,
Yep.
I'm gonna go
hard,
ahead and